When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Hello and welcome to ZPG Ice Maidens, the only dedicated Women's National Ice Hockey League podcast.
Part of the ZPG network of UK ice hockey podcasts.
We're in partnership with the Hockey Archive, hockey clothing for hockey people, worn by the best
and hated by the rest.
Listen to the ZPG network.
Get a 10% discount on everything
at hockeyartclothing.co.uk.
Just enter the code ZP10 on checkout to get your discount.
We're also part of the Sports Social Podcast Network,
the biggest sports podcast network in Europe,
boasting over 450 podcasts for more than 15 different sports.
Hello and welcome to part 1 of our playoffs review edition. Coming up on this week's episode, we hear who was crowned Under-16's champion, as well as hearing how the Division 2 promotion battle was settled. We also have 9 post-game interviews for you, as we get reactions from the teams involved. So, without further delay, let's get the show started. The curtain came down on the WNIHL season earlier this month with the marquee event of the playoff finals weekend in Sheffield. 17 teams, 13 games, 4 trophies, all crammed into just 2 days. The weekend started on the Friday afternoon with the 2 under-16 semi-finals. The Whitley Bay Beacons, who had won the Northern Division to book their place at the finals weekend in just their 3rd year of existence, came up against a strong London Capitals side, coached by one of their very own Beacons Elite League players, Louise Adams. The Capitals edged ahead with a 2-goal lead and proved difficult to break down with what was a strong defence and excellent goaltending. The Haringey-based side were ahead after just 8 minutes when Aurora Dobbs forced a turnover in her defensive zone before finding Rebecca Voslinski.
Gets a shot off and she finishes, and that's the first goal of these finals weekend, and took it well, kept her composure, a nice finish.
Yeah, she knew what she needed to do. She saw that she didn't have any options, and she just took the puck to the net herself and buried it.
Queen Bee's forward Megan Stout in the commentary box. Once in goal, the Canadian-born forward produced a well-executed drag-back to deke goalie Violet Lennon and slot home on the glove side. On the whole, it was an even first period that went back and forth, and at times even became quite physical. But after a scoreless and close second period, the Capitals doubled their lead with 25 seconds remaining in the session. Rebecca Voslinski capitalised on a line change. Her shot saw a rebound fall to Aurora Dobbs to put home right towards the end of the period.
Voslinski sets it up, puck's loose, it's been put home, and it's 2-0 Capitals, and Beacons just couldn't clear that rebound.
No, I don't think Violet could see the puck with the scrum in front of the net, and Aurora was able to just tap it right in.
Whitley looked to hit back, and they very nearly did so with a good effort from Megan MacArthur as she drove forward from the back. But Sophia Kuzaris remained outstanding in goal for the Capitals. Time was running out for the Beacons, but they did get a goal back after some good work by Holly Smith behind the back of the net to set up Poppy Skelton, who put home on the backhand blocker side with 18 seconds left.
Well, that one comes through, they're putting it home. The Beacons have got their goal then with 18 seconds to go, and maybe, just maybe, they have got the opportunity to go for it.
It made the scoreline a fairer reflection of what was a tight game throughout, but it wasn't enough, and the Capitals were the first side to book their place in the final. Poppy Skelton and Aurora Dobbs were named player of the game for their respective sides, while the Beacons had the consolation of being presented with the league trophy at the end. After the game, I spoke with Capitals coach Louise Adams.
It was a nice back and forth game and actually quite physical for an under-16s game. It's not usually what you see, but it's nice to see them out there competing. I think from the girls we discussed that we don't really know that team. They don't see each other in the normal season, so it was just going out there and setting the tone, and they did that.
Yeah, a lot of good quality on both sides, but Capitals with that experience there, with some players from the Elite League as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've got a lot of experience on that team, and I think they really pull on that well. And they also have a lot of younger ones that have very bright futures, and that show today.
And a great performance from the Capital goalie.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. She stood on her head and made some huge saves. She was definitely in the contention for being player of the game.
The second semi-final saw a very strong Chelmsford Rattlesnakes side, who had won the Southern Division, against the Sheffield Shadows, a side that only just finished second to the Beacons during the regular season. The Rattlesnakes lit up the playoffs last season with their exciting attacking play, solid goaltending and their vocal supporters. It was the same again this year, only now they were favourites to win the competition with what was an extremely talented side. Could they deal with the pressure? Well, we found out just 8 seconds in when they took the lead. Izzy Zhizhinska stole possession of the puck and cut in behind the last defender before unleashing a powerful shot that hit Shadows goalie Ella May Hobley-Flitcroft on the shoulder and looped over her head and into the net.
Olivia Baff touches it off, but it's Izzy Zhizhinska straight away who gets a shot on net. It's looped up, it's gone in. What a start by the Rattlesnakes. They could not have got off to a better start. 8 seconds in, and I just had a feeling once the puck looped up, it was going to drop into a net.
The Essex side doubled their lead before the period was over. Hobley-Flitcroft covered up the puck with 90 seconds to go in the first session, but Chelmsford's Freya Price was alert around the crease and stabbed home when it became loose.
Should have been a whistle a long time ago. The goal lights come on. It's surely not going to be given.
There was confusion on and off the ice, but the goal stood. The Shadows were rocked with having 2 bounces go against them, but they almost cut the arrears before the break. Millie Fulbourn had a chance with 6 seconds left in the period, but Kira Waddington made one of 25 saves throughout the contest to deny her. Chelmsford went further ahead around the midpoint of the game, whilst on the power play. Izzy Zhizhinska hit the crossbar after cutting through 3 Shadows players, forcing an offensive zone face-off. From that resulting face-off, Freya Price took control of the puck with a little drag back before firing into the back of the net, beating Hobley-Flitcroft on the blocker side.
It's in the back of the net. That is a beautiful goal there by the Chelmsford Rattlesnakes. Put home by Freya Price, which I believe is her second of the game, but fantastic hands from her.
The Shadows were now down by 3 and needed an instant response. They very nearly had one early in the third period when both Millie Fulbourn and Olivia Baff shot through traffic, forcing Kira Waddington into further good saves. The home side, as it were, did get on the board with 7 minutes to go when Millie stole the puck back along the boards, then held off a Chelmsford defender at arm's length as she advanced towards goal and slotted home past Kira to make it 3-1.
Millie Fulbourn holding that puck away at arm's length, and she scored. And this time the Shadows have got themselves on the score sheet, and it was a well-taken goal by Millie Fulbourn. And if anyone was going to get it today, it probably was going to be Millie.
Despite the scoreline, Charlie Farr played well defensively and even lined up at forward late on as the Shadows tried to force a comeback. But the Rattlesnakes struck a killer blow with just minutes left, Izzy Zhizhinska converting late on a power play as she squeezed home glove side on a wraparound.
That one's been put home, so it's 4-1 right at the end of the power play.
Millie Fulbourn almost made it a 2-goal game again on a breakaway with 90 seconds to go, but she was denied by Kira once again. Sheffield pulled Hobley-Flitcroft for the extra attacker, but that allowed Chelmsford to score an empty net goal.
Tina Powell gets it away. Chance of an empty netter here. Shot comes in. Oh, nice football skills there from Brooke Howell to prevent the goal. But this time it has been put home. And it's Izzy Zhizhinska with a hat-trick marker. She squeezed it in on the near side, I think, as well.
Brooke Howell and Izzy Zhizhinska were named player of the game for their respective sides, while Chelmsford captain Cara Jones was presented with the Under-16 South Division Championship trophy. After the game, I spoke with Rattlesnakes coach and Chelmsford Cobras player Jenny Bolton.
I was really pleased with the result yesterday. There was a lot of nerves on the bench from all the girls afterward, before the game, but they all came really wanting to win. They're really pumped for it, and you just never know what to expect. I mean, Sheffield, it's their home ice, so they've got that advantage. But I think we did really well using the width and the kind of the space that we had on the ice to our advantage. So everyone on the team really stepped up, so I was very pleased.
Yeah, it's a strong Sheffield team with some GB and England internationals there, so that was something you had to manage. But of course, there's a lot of talent on this Rattlesnake side as well.
Yeah, there certainly is. We've got representatives of England and GB, so we've got plenty of strength and depth in the team. So I was pretty confident that we could compete with Sheffield.
So that left us then with an all-Southern final. Chelmsford had won 3 of the 4 meetings against London during the regular season, but the Capitals had claimed an important 3-1 win in the most recent game between the two sides. It was a result which helped book the Haringey Bay side's place in the finals. A tentative start to the game saw the first real chance go to Chelmsford's Freya Clark, who found herself alone in the low slot, but her shot was saved by London's Sophie Kazaris. The Rattlesnakes would get the breakthrough towards the end of the first period, though, when they were given a power play. They needed just 29 seconds to convert when Izzy Jajinska set up Connie Fiedler with a reverse pass in the mid-slot for her to break the deadlock.
Taken into his zone by Jajinska, and then the shot coming in, and they've scored! And the Rattlesnakes convert then.
The score remained that way until early into the third period, when the Rattlesnakes looked to double their lead. Cara Jones produced a nice stretch pass from deep inside her defensive zone to find Izzy Jajinska, who attempted to split the Capitals' defence, only for Kiva Parsons to steal the puck back, carry up the ice and play in Rebecca Voslinski on the far side, who shrugged off 2 challenges before picking out the top corner of the net from an acute angle to tie the game up.
It was a pass at pace, and she scored though. Tegan Walsh was open as a passing option. She didn't need her. She's rifled it into the top corner, and no goalie in the world could have stopped that one.
Chelmsford looked to find the go-ahead goal. Cara Jones put in a captain's performance as she had a really strong third period, while Jajinska had a chance to win it during the final minute of regulation, but was denied. However, they didn't have to wait long for the game winner, and it would be those two who combined to devastating effect once again. As 25 seconds into overtime, Cara Jones stabbed home on the backhand after exchanging passes with Jajinska.
And they've scored. It's over. And Chelmsford only needed 25 seconds to get the job done. There was not a chance to win it in regulation. There's nothing between the sides. And mere seconds after the game has started, it's the Rattlesnakes who get the job done.
Chelmsford went on to claim a deserved Under-16's championship. However, London pushed them all the way. Cara Jones and Kiva Parsons were named the 2 players of the game. As for the All-Star Awards then, goalie went to Chelmsford's Kira Waddington for a second year running. I don't think there was much of a surprise about that. However, there was a strong argument for London's Sophia Kazaris, who made a lot of top-quality saves over the weekend, and that award could easily have gone to one of the 2 of them. Defence went to London's Aurora Dobbs for what was a dominant display at the back, as well as that goal in the semi-final, of course, against the Beacons. Her teammate, Kiva Parsons, looked every inch the Elite League player she is for Guildford, as she patrolled the blue line with confidence, while Chelmsford's Ava Adamson put in a no-nonsense display at the back, and a special mention to Christina Powell, who could easily have skated off with the award too, after what was an impressive performance all weekend. All 4 will be names to look out for over the coming years. Forward award then went to Chelmsford's Izzy Jajinska, a hat-trick in the semi-final and countless beautiful set-up plays putting her at the top of the list. London's Rebecca Voslinski ran her close though, as she drove her side forward at every opportunity and scored in both games with skill in abundance. It's actually scary to think Rebecca is only 13 years old, and she is only going to continue to get better over the next few years. Aside from those 2 obvious choices, some other players to impress over the weekend were London's Neve and Tegan Walsh, along with Chelmsford's Freya Clark, Captain Cara Jones and the exciting Freya Price, who of course netted twice in the semi-final. A special mention too goes to Connie Fiedler. First of all, my apologies for getting her name wrong during commentary all weekend, but aside from that, her goal to open the scoring in the final was massively deserved after what was an impressive weekend from her. And we look forward to seeing more of Connie throughout the seasons with the senior teams as well, of course. After a game, I spoke once again with a delighted and victorious Chelmsford Rattlesnakes coach, Jenny Bolton.
I've got to congratulate London Capitals. They came out and gave us such a good game today, and what a showcase for women's hockey or girls hockey. It was fantastic, back and forth constantly. We really had to dig deep today to pull out that win, but I'm so proud of the team. We've put in so much work and time and effort this season, and I really felt they deserved the win today. I mean, we've had a long season. We've been victorious in the Southern League, but that was no guarantee coming into the final that we were going to come out on top. But it was a fantastic game, so I'm chuffed to bits.
Really was. Goalie Kira Waddington getting all-star goalie as well, which is great recognition of her efforts, because I actually thought the Capitals goalie played really well as well and kept Rattlesnakes at bay for a lot of that game.
Yeah, she certainly did. Yeah, the Capital goalie did brilliantly, but Kira has been solid for us all season. She ages out this year, unfortunately, but she's a fantastic goalie, and the whole team played so well today. But there were certain individuals which really stepped up, and Kira was one of them. So it was great to see. It
really was. Obviously, getting to the semi-final of the playoffs last year, winning the Southern League and the playoffs this year, it's a culmination of that team. As you say, there will be players that age out. So, what's it looking like for Rattlesnakes for next season?
Quietly confident for next season. We obviously, as I said, we lose Kira, we lose a few other key players, but we've still got a solid foundation, that's for sure. So the goal's going to come back and do it all again next season.
So once again, the Under-16's tournament proved to be a great success, and we saw 3 very entertaining games of hockey. Let's now move on to Division 2 then, where we saw another North versus South pair of semi-finals, meaning none of the sides had faced one another during the regular season, and therefore very little was known how they would match up. Caledonia Steel Queens, who are based in Edinburgh, were Northern champions and faced a strong Cambridge Kodiaks side in the first semi-final. Going into the weekend, the thoughts were that perhaps this would be the closest game of the 13, and so it proved. The Queens got an early goal after Aisling Rafter's persistence paid off as she worked the puck back out the corner towards Bradley Santelli on the point. The American defender's wrist shot through traffic sailed into an empty net as Kodiak's goalie Cheyenne Overgaard was still trying to get back into position after an initial save.
And then the shot from behind. So
finds it! The snipe! And the Queens will open up the scoring.
Bradley Santelli.
Well done. Nice wrist shot through traffic from the point. The Queens are going to be happy about finding that one.
Steel Queens commentator Laird Shingleton with me there. Both sides were slugging it out with chances created in equal measure. Katie Trachtenberg was one of the stars of last year, and she was playing a prominent role 12 months later. Some great play by the Delaware-born forward was denied by the Kodiak's Yoa Hoshizaki before a short-handed breakaway was stopped by a big save from Overgaard. Jess Malloy took time off from a dominant display on the Queen's blue line to drive forward, but she too was denied by Overgaard. Cambridge, who have a similar origin story to the Queens, were very much still in the contest. A series of slalom-like surges forward from Sarah Carvenan, one of which saw her shot ping back off the crossbar as she got in on net, was a warning of their intent. Claire Ledbury was another doing well, getting forward to join the rush, but the Kodiaks were finding it difficult to get in on goal, with some lethal poke checks from Michelle Davidson. But before the period was over, the Kodiaks did get their goal, courtesy of a power play. Alicia Anderson, who was prominent during the player advantage, showed great hands as she set up Carvenan at the back post to tap home the equaliser with seconds left.
Big moment in front of the net, and they're going to bury the rebound as Hunter can't quite get back into position, and this will be a 1-1 game.
Perhaps what was most impressive of the way the Queens played was just how strong they were on the penalty kill. Katie Trachtenberg's silky hands on the back check combining well with Jess Malloy and Michelle Davidson, making the penalty kill a threat to the Kodiaks. When the roles were reversed and the Queens had a power play of their own, they were able to test the Kodiaks' resolve. Malloy's shot from the point forced Overgaard into a huge glove save, picking out the puck that was heading for the top shelf. Another high glove save from Overgaard, this time from Davidson's point shot later in the period, was another highlight. Kodiak's Sarah Carvenan, who played in the semi-final last year for Peterborough, was always the outlet pass for her side, as she carried the puck well through the neutral zone into the offensive zone. Queens began the third period having to kill off several consecutive penalty minutes, but they actually created more goal-scoring opportunities than the Kodiaks during that time. Katie Trachtenberg forechecked and skated as though her life depended on it, while Jess Malloy and Michelle Davidson continued to form an impenetrable barrier across the blue line. Kodiaks did have a chance to win it in regulation time, though, with just 15 seconds left, but Alice Hunter came up with a strong save to force overtime. The Kodiaks continued applying a lot of pressure early on during the 3-on-3 sudden death overtime session, but having weathered that storm, the Queens countered to devastating effect. Megan Agnew entered the zone and picked out Jess Bridger, who was left alone to rifle home top shelf blocker side for the dramatic winner.
Big feed! Fires it in!
Oh, it's in!
Oh my, that's Bridger burying
Bridger with the goal, the winner.
Joa Hoshizaki and Jess Bridger were named player of the game, while afterwards the Queens were presented with the league trophy. After the game, I spoke with Caledonia trio and victors, Aisling Rafter, Bradley Santelli and Nicky Russell. But first, I caught up with Kodiaks defender Claire Ledbury and goalie Cheyenne Overgaard.
It was a very fast-paced game. It was a physical game as well, and it boiled down to who wanted it the most. Despite how the shot went in, we were fighting for the puck on both ends. Unfortunately, I feel like we're a little slow in overtime as well, because we've never played as a team in overtime yet. So I guess it's just a new experience for everybody.
And this is just the beginning for women's hockey in Cambridge, isn't it? And disappointment today, but I guess you can use that as extra motivation for next season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've attracted so many fans. Like some of our games, we've had like over 200 people come to watch us in Cambridge. So,
and away games. Like, we've had louder crowds in away games throughout the season this year.
But for you, Cheyenne, as well, it was a great performance from you, and
Thank you.
It's something that you can look back on in years to come and you think, well, okay, disappointing we didn't win, but I played well.
I'm not upset too much about my performance. It was unfortunate first goal. I ended up falling down and they put it in the back. But I just had to remind myself not to get in my head and stop the next puck.
We are catching up with 3 victorious Steel Queens, Aisling Rafter, Bradley Santelli and Nicky Russell. Thank you all for joining me.
Thank you.
Fantastic win. Congratulations on that. What a game of hockey. That was epic, wasn't it?
Oh, that was amazing. Bit more stressful than I would like.
It was very close, and obviously, Brad, it was your goal which opened for Seedens, and great finish from quite a distance as well.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't have happened without this one right here. It was such a lovely pass, nice find.
Just seen she was open, but honestly, I didn't really think it would find the net, and I was so happy that it did.
Yeah,
and it was great for us to get that initial lead in the start of the game. I think it gave everyone a boost.
Yeah, definitely set us up well, I think, and settled us down a little bit. But Cambridge were hard. They were coming at us hard, and they pushed us. We had to play some real serious hockey. So, but it was good fun.
Yeah, you were probably expecting it would be a tough game and a close game, and that proved to be the case. It's difficult to know, isn't it, when you don't play them in the regular season? But there was literally nothing separating the two teams throughout, was there?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was our kind of we were really hitting home on that of, we've never seen these guys this year. We haven't played against them. They're going to bring it their all because, both of us have had really incredible seasons. So we obviously wanted to bring our best game, and that goes for both teams. So we knew that it was going to be a challenge, and I think we came into the game with that mindset, and that really helped us be able to surpass, any sort of challenges we faced and frustrations. And close games like that, you can easily get demoralized if it's not going your way.
Yeah, it's always going to be difficult when one team has to lose that game. That went to Cambridge, but it went the distance, didn't it? Went into to overtime, and I guess it's something of a lottery at that point, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, 3v3, it's difficult. There's so much space on the ice, but that kind of second line that came out, and Jess got a great pass. She got the space, and then a brilliant finish. So we were delighted.
The second semi-final saw Division 2 South champions Cardiff Comets take on a strong Telford Wrekin Raiders side. And it was the Shropshire side that had the first chances of the game, as Michelle Madziak and Letitia Liu forced Mackenzie Macnamara into great saves. But the Comets, who had made the final a year earlier, soon took control of the game. 5 minutes in, Maddie Davis steered home at the back post from what was a Liv Taylor assist.
Cardiff looking to build here. Oh, and it's in, and there's the first goal then. And the Comets get the breakthrough. It's 1-0. I'm saying it was a slow start, but 5:24 in and they've got the lead.
They doubled their advantage near the start of the second period after Maya Harewood worked hard along the right wing boards before advancing towards goal and cutting through the slot before getting a shot off to make it 2-0.
Really not much in here at all, but Cardiff have doubled their lead with a nice bit of individual play there from Maya Harewood.
2 would soon become 3, with a clever play involving the Comets' top 2 scorers. Liv Taylor carried the puck into his zone, but it actually got stuck in the snow on top of the ice. Maddie Davis quickly reacted to that and shuffled the puck forward to her line mate to put home at the second time of asking.
Oh, the puck just getting behind, and this is a problem when the... Oh, they've put it in, though. We've got to say it's a problem this late in on the essentially the third period of hockey on this ice.
An almost instant response from Telford saw Andrea Lamb score within seconds of the face-off. Despite the net coming off during the build-up, we had a good goal.
Telford need to get a response as Mackenzie Macnamara has made the save. It's come off the net, but they're going to give the goal anyway. It's gone in the net.
Telford ensured it would be a tense finale when they converted on the power play. Letitia Liu set up Lamb, whose shot was blocked, but Liu then cycled the puck back to the high slot for Michelle Madziak to fire home via the glove side post.
Oh, that's in the back of the net, and Madziak scored from the high slot, and we've got a one-goal game here. Cardiff had defended so well on that play to get it away initially, but when the puck came back out, it fell for Madziak and she converts on the power play.
Both goalies, Telford's Alice Summerford and Cardiff's Mackenzie Macnamara, were called upon to rescue their sides with late saves on in the game. Telford had it all to play for in that final stretch of the game, but some inspired goaltending from Macnamara saw the Welsh side into a final for the second straight year. Player of the Game awards went to Zoe Wallace of Telford and Maya Harewood of Cardiff. Afterwards, the Comets received their Division 2 South Championship trophy. After the game, I spoke with Telford top scorer Michelle Madziak and Cardiff captain Jordan Phipps.
First of all, Michelle, thank you for joining me. Telford really gave Cardiff a game there, didn't they?
Yeah, we did. I think we just said we don't know lots about them. Let's go out and play our game. And I think as the game progressed, we started playing our game more and more. Just a little bit more time, I wish.
Yeah, I mean, they've been champions in the South Division 2 years in a row for a good reason. They're a good side, and we saw that with the goals that they took. They got the chances come their way because, particularly after this, when they got the second goal, it had all been Telford coming into that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. But then you can see that sort of, their experience coming through. And we saw it, and we had to battle back from that. But yeah,
they went 3 goals to the good, but then very quickly you got a goal back, and that was important when it came, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think we needed that momentum, and we said that just one at a time. Yeah,
and then your power play goal coming towards the end of that power play, actually. But I mean, what a pass out to you to the high slot.
Yeah, beautiful pass. So that's a gift. That was her goal. You know what I mean? But yeah, I said we got to just move it, pass, shoot. We just keep saying it because that keeper, tough to beat on your own.
She really is. She's about as good as you're going to face at this level, isn't she? And made it difficult. But Raiders just never gave up and pushed Cardiff all the way there.
Yeah, all the way to the finish. That's what we said. We had chance after chance at the end. We were down in their end, threw the extra man on, just not quite enough. But we've got something to, hold our heads high, and we'll be back next year, I think.
I think so. I mean, as well, you look at the 2 finalists. Well, we've just seen there, you push Cardiff all the way, and in 2 games against the Steel Queens this season, not been much in it, and no team has really been able to live with the Steel Queens in the North this year.
No. Our last game when we went there, I think it was a goal difference, and again battled really hard with them. But we like playing teams like this. It pushes us, and we tried lots out there. We swapped lots of things about, and just kept going.
Yeah, well, last season obviously Cardiff lost the final heartbreaking goal in the last minute to Solway, and sometimes teams have to go through that adversity. You said to me just before we went on air that you're going to use this as fuel for next year, and Telford are going to come back even stronger next year.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the confidence we needed. Like, we were that close. We can get here again, and we know what to do. I think we'll feel more confident. There was a lot of nerves today.
Jordan, thank you for joining me.
No, thank you for having me.
That was quite a close one, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah. I think we left it quite tight, and fair play to them. They just gave us an absolute game, and we've had to work for everything. They really worked for everything, and I think glad to get a win narrow. And it was a bit of a thing where we thought, they're going to come back, and they were pushing really hard. But I'm glad we got the win. So on to tomorrow now.
Yeah, got the early lead, and then Telford actually come back quite strong. But then the second goal when it came was probably a relief, wasn't it? Because it eased that pressure just a little bit.
Yeah. So I think when it was like we had that 2-goal difference, it was it's a bit more comfortable. They always say 2-goal leads the hardest to defend.
Yeah.
So but fair play to them. They just came back and they absolutely brought it to us and made us panic on the puck and made us really, really pressured us. So I think full credit to them, and I'm glad it's so for a tiring game that was.
Yeah, I can well imagine. Yeah, I mean, going 3 goals up and then almost straight away they get that goal back, don't they? And it's back to a 2-goal game, and then obviously converting on the power play just set up that tense finale, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and all comes down to the third period, and it's just dig deep and just keep playing the game.
The Division 2 final then pitted champions of the North, Caledonia Steel Queens, against the champions of the South, the Cardiff Comets. For the second straight year, it was a Scotland versus Wales final. For the likes of Katie Trachtenberg and Chloe Young, who played in the final last year with Solway, they knew what it would take to win promotion. While for Cardiff, it offered up an opportunity to put right what happened a year ago. It would be the Comets who created the first chance when Maya Harewood almost repeated the same move she made a day earlier when she scored against Telford. On this occasion, though, she was unable to find the net. That forced Caledonia into action, and they were soon ahead when Jess Malloy collected the puck on her own blue line, carried down the left wing boards before firing top shelf glove side to open up the score.
She has plenty of space here, attacks the hash, tries to go, the snipe! Now that is classic Malloy.
The chances continued to arrive as Nicky Russell fired over on a breakaway, while Katie Trachtenberg's shot from a right wing almost saw Laura O'Sullivan crash home a rebound. Then later on, Jess Bridger forced Mackenzie Macnamara into another great save. The Queens began the second period just as bright, with the line of Aisling Rafter, Caitlin Monk and Kate Gillis combining well. Both sides started to exchange chances. Cardiff's Liv Taylor fired over from distance before some great hands from Katie Trachtenberg saw her tease the Comets' defence 2 or 3 times on the same shift as she tried to make the play around the crease. Katie, who scored twice in the final for Solway against Cardiff in 2023, is the very definition of a big game player, coming up with a big play. Inside the final 4 minutes of the second period, she collected the puck in the neutral zone, carried it into the offensive zone before winding up a huge slap shot from distance, which saw the puck drilled low under Mackenzie's glove for an unstoppable finish.
It finds Bridges' feet there as Trachtenberg will take a big slap shot.
What a goal! My word, Katie Trachtenberg doing what Katie Trachtenberg does best. A shot from distance, drilled low, and it was only going to be a goal like that could beat Mackenzie Macnamara and shades of playoff 2023 then, as Katie Trachtenberg rifles one in. A 2-goal advantage and a game this close was huge, but just when you began to fear for Cardiff, they struck back almost immediately. A Comet shot from distance by Luan Luzo was put home on the rebound by Jenny Bull with a backhand shot.
Big rebound on the backhand.
Oh, they scored. The Comets have got one back.
That made it a 1-goal game again, but with 30 seconds to go, both sides had the chance to score once more. Katie Trachtenberg set up Megan Agnew alone in the low slot, but Mackenzie Macnamara made a fingertip save. Then Maddie Davis shot into the net just as the buzzer began to sound, and so therefore didn't count. But the Comets were close. That gave the Comets fresh energy heading into the third, and they tied things up inside the first 5 minutes. Liv Taylor collected the puck in the neutral zone and controlled well by taking it past Megan Agnew, then Bradley Santelli. She then split the defence and switched from backhand to forehand, and finished well on the blocker side for what was an incredible solo goal.
We've got a 3-on-2 rush here. Goes right through the house. It's going to look.
Oh, what a goal! What a goal by Liv Taylor, and she's been quiet in this final up till now, but she's come alive. And just when the Comets need her most, she has brought her side level.
Liv had scored a hat-trick in the final a year ago, and she had just brought her side back level once again. However, just like in 2023, it sadly wasn't meant to be for the Comets. With less than 7 minutes remaining, Caledonia moved back ahead when Jess Malloy collected her own rebound off the boards and was able to pick out Kate Gillis, who was left alone in the mid-slot to fire home the winner.
Win this to the slot. That's going to be Giles.
Oh, it's in.
And she buries it.
Wow. That shot, that initially when the shot was, I think was from Malloy, which Mackenzie just edged away with her blocker, helped it on its way. It was going wide anyway, but then as the puck cycles back round, Gillis puts it in.
Cardiff defender Megan Lawrence and Caledonia's Katie Trachtenberg were named Player of the Game, while the All-Star Awards went to Cardiff goalie Mackenzie Macnamara, who for me was one of the top performers over the whole weekend. The Defender Award went to Caledonia's Jess Malloy, although Michelle Davidson, her sometime defensive partner, could easily have claimed it too, as the pair were simply awesome at the back. A third Canadian-born blue liner, Cardiff's Megan Lawrence, was another who for me was in contention. The Forward Award went to Caledonia youngster Jess Bridger, who has scored goals for fun this season and netted the OT winner in the semi-final. Special mention too goes to Katie Trachtenberg, who was immense with her work rate over a weekend, while the Comets' top line of Liv Taylor, Maddie Davis and Jordan Phipps also worked hard to get their side back in the contest. Congratulations then go to Caledonia on what was a deserved promotion, as they became just the third team in 12 months to win every game they played this season. The other two teams being, of course, the Whitley Bay Beacons and the Solway Sharks. On the other side are the Cardiff Comets, and my heart really does go out to them, suffering a second straight final loss. While I am supposed to remain neutral, and I do try to treat all 32 teams equally, you will forgive me if I hope to see the Comets clinch promotion in 2025. After the game, I spoke with Caledonia defender Bradley Santelli, but first I caught up with Cardiff duo Jordan Phipps and goalie Mackenzie Macnamara. Cardiff Comets captain Jordan Phipps and goalie Mackenzie Macnamara. Thank you both for joining me. Such a tough loss, second year in a row against a Scottish team. Yeah. You're going to have to try and get Katie Trachtenberg banned from playing against the Comets, aren't you?
I just had a word with her now at the back and I said, what team she's playing for next season if it's in Division 1. So, they're a fantastic team, and, we've hung out with them all weekend, and, good luck to them, and, they absolutely deserve it.
They do. It was a close game, though. I know the Queens brought a lot of offence, but I thought the Comets defended really well. And Mackenzie, you were outstanding in goal. She really was. And I mean, a very well-deserved All-Star Award as well for goalie. So congratulations on that. You've been busy this weekend, haven't you?
It's been a very tough weekend, but very proud of both teams, and it's been a good weekend.
Yeah, disappointing, obviously, with the Firebees and today, but your own performance, you must be quite pleased with the way it's gone.
Yeah. It was good weekend.
Well done on that. Looking ahead to next season, Jordan, hopeful to keep the majority of your squad together?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got, as I think I mentioned earlier, we've got a massive squad. I think across the two teams, we've got huge numbers. And rebuild again now this year, and kind of just build on the players. Bring our fourth and third line. We've played 4 and 3, 4 lines all season. So bring our third and fourth line on, and really get them some really good game time, and start getting some real strength and depth into our team. And then we just keep pushing, and that's all we can do. We can come to the playoff finals and just keep trying to push. And as a team, we're a tight knit team, and we'll just keep going.
Yeah, and what was impressive is because a lot of teams do shorten the bench, but as you say, Comets did run 4 lines, and that was good to see. And everyone gets their chance, don't they, at games as big as this?
Yeah, absolutely. We all got here together. We've played 4 lines most of the season. We've only shortened our bench in the last couple of periods. Last couple of minutes of the third period normally. And like I said, everyone deserves game time. Everyone's got us here, and no one person is bigger than the team, and we're all just one big gel unit. So. Like I said, back together now, get some food and drown our sorrows for another Scottish loss. And rebuild. We've got a couple of weeks off now. Our ice is being brought up to be painted, and there's a couple of stuff going on in our ring, so it'll be a very welcome couple of weeks off, and we'll go back to it.
Yeah, obviously a third period goal was a winner, but at least I suppose it wasn't in the final 20-30 seconds. And as heartbreaking as last season, but I suppose it doesn't really make it that much easier, does it?
No. I mean,
the loss is never easy, is it? No. It was a good goal. Very nice goal.
They're all nice goals. And I think, it's easier when you've got 10 minutes to come back in, and then a bit of penalty trouble, and you lose the momentum. And, fair play to them. They were like waves. They didn't stop coming. They played really nice plays and just pulled us. And, I wish nothing but the best for them. They're an absolutely lovely team and really, really good. And, it is what it is. And, like I said, it's not the heartbreak of 36 seconds, but it still hurts. It's the second time. What they say, third time lucky. So hopefully we can sort ourselves out and get us back into the playoffs next year.
Well, hope so. And just to touch on those 2 goals, really, Katie Trachtenberg's
laser beam into a bottom corner. I don't suppose you really saw it coming, did you? Because I wasn't expecting it.
I think you had like a glove. Like it was like this far, wasn't it?
Off the top of my glove.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then obviously getting that goal back quickly, got Comets back into it, and then a great goal from Liv, wasn't it, to tie it up?
Liv is, she's fantastic, and she is our leading goal scorer, but she's also a playmaker and a fantastic teammate to have. So she's solid for us every time.
Steel Queen's defender, Bradley Santelli. Thank you for joining me.
No, thank you for having me.
Pleasure. As always, a brilliant win in what was a very close and tough game in the final against the Cardiff Comets.
Yeah, so obviously we knew we were coming into a challenge. Cardiff finished the top of their table. They've been having a really good season all year. But we also knew that we have also been having a really good season. So I think it really came down to all the mental preparation that we did. We really made it point to, have everybody focus on their game, do all the visualization stuff, learn how to calm themselves down in the middle of the game. And the whole team kind of kept each other accountable because, we've got the skills, we've got the speed. That's all the stuff we work on in practice all year, but it's the mindset that truly, I think, made a difference in what was such a close game.
Yeah, it really did. As you say, there's been some big wins in Division 2 this season in the north, but coming up against both Cambridge and Cardiff, two of the toughest teams you could have wished to face against two really strong goaltenders as well.
Yeah, that was a really tough one, especially for us Queens, because, we had a season, some of our games were really high scoring. So sometimes when you're playing for a team that gets that and faces that challenge of a good goaltender, you can get really frustrated and turn back in on yourself when you're not getting those pucks in the net. Yeah. So seriously, kudos to the two goalies. They played so amazing. And really gave it their all. So, but I'm really also proud of us for not collapsing and getting frustrated when, goalies are making really good saves, because I think that can be a real deal breaker for teams.
Yeah, for sure. Fellow American Katie Trachtenberg, she played and scored in the a winning final last year.
Yep.
Had that experience and come up with a big goal, didn't she?
Yeah, I absolutely love Katie. She's such a leader on this team. We're so lucky to have her. She did her push for playoffs this year, and I think that all got us really into the playoff mindset and really brought the team together. She's a really clutch player and just knows how to show up and keep everybody, pumped around her. It's so fun to skate with her.
Yeah, I can imagine. Now the reward is promotion to Division 1.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that? Excited, I guess?
I'm really excited. Like, even watching the games here this weekend, watching the Div 1 girls, we knew that that's where we wanted to be, and that's what we want to play next year. We're super excited. We're excited to bring, the Scottish energy to the Div 1 this year again. So we're just really looking forward to it.
Drama and quality hockey in equal measure then across both the under-16s and the Division 2 games over the weekend. Next week we have the Division 1 review for you, so please make sure to look out for it when it gets uploaded. Thank you all for listening. See you next week.
Please make sure you're following us across all social media platforms
to keep you fully up to date with all things WNIHL.
On Facebook, follow Ice Maidens, the voice of women's ice hockey.
And check out the website at icemaidens.wordpress.com.
On Instagram and on Twitter.
You can find the podcast
at ZPG Ice Maidens.
And for YouTube, you can subscribe to Zero Pucks Given.
Please like, follow, share and subscribe.
It all does wonders for spreading the good word
of the ZPG network.
Sports Social Podcast Network.